A very good evening to one and all present here. It's my pleasure to stand this auspicious occasion by heartily welcoming everybody. On behalf of Puratchi Thalavi Amma Government Arts and Science College, Palladam, in collaboration with Arts for Teaching and Development Center, Tamil Nadu, India, I welcome you all for the fifth day of international workshop. With all your presence, I thank our founder and Puratchi Thalavi Amma College Principal, Head of the Department of English, Dr. Krishnamani ma'am. Now we are beginning with our second day of workshop. Of course, our program for today will surely use a lot of learning and everything. Now it's time to start our day of workshop. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Muhammad Safar, Professor. He's an expert of ELT. At present, he's teaching in the Islamia University of Bahawalpur-Pakistan. Now, this platform is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible. No problem, sir. I hear your voice. Please.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to everyone. This is Dr. Muhammad Safdar Bhatti from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur-Pakistan. First of all, I would like to thank all the team of Oxford for inviting me over here as a special guest to give my talk. And the topic of my today's talk is benefits of student-centered classroom. And that is a brief sketch of my talk. Respected audience, these are some objectives of this workshop. Dear all, student-centered learning is a philosophy of education designed to meet the needs of individual students. It is a teaching method that focuses on creating connections with students' interests and the things they learn in school. The ultimate goal is to make the educational process more meaningful to students. It is an approach to education that puts the students at the center of the learning process. It has numerous benefits, including increased engagement and motivation, improved critical thinking and problem-solving skills, greater independence, and personalized learning. It can be highly effective in improving students' academic achievements. It allows students with varying abilities to take ownership in their learning and uses their strengths and interests to engage and motivate them. The four main characteristics of a student-centered learning model include voice, choice, competency-based progression, and continuous monitoring of the student's needs. Dear all, basically student-centered learning is an instructional approach that shifts the focus of the instruction onto the students instead of the teacher. In a student-centered environment, teachers act as facilitators, guiding and encouraging students and giving students choices in their learning and assignments. Teachers are no longer the gatekeepers of information, rather a resource for students to obtain and grasp knowledge. Students are included in the planning process, which allows personal needs to be addressed and meet, and also tapping into what will motivate students to learn, participate, and engage in activities. Students take an active role in their learning experiences in this classroom setting. As students work at their own pace, they are able to learn how to build independence, develop transferable skills, become independent learners, communicate their understanding, and drive their learning to inquiry. Basically, student-centered learning is important as it focuses on individual student needs, their unique learning styles, and engages them in the learning process. By focusing on students' needs, they will also learn at their own pace and make pedagogical decisions which suits them best. Making personalized learning a core element of a student-centered classroom opens up opportunities for more student-driven choices regarding how they will express, share, and showcase their learning. This helps to highlight students' strengths and individuality, encourage peer-to-peer learning, and create a collaborative learning environment. Ultimately, the more connected a student feels with what and how he is learning, the more motivated and excited he will be to continuously learn and develop lifelong skills. These are some benefits of student-centered learning. Dear all, student-centered learning method is an innovative design that focuses on the needs, abilities, interests, and learning styles of students. The ultimate goal is to turn the learning process into the shared experience. The first benefit is increased students' participation. My dear, student-centered learning creates such a collaborative environment in which students are eager to participate. They are encouraged to think critically about what they are learning and consider how they want to learn and demonstrate knowledge. This can involve small groups where students can learn and share knowledge. By changing the physical arrangements of the classroom, students can feel less scared about sharing with their peers. Additionally, by having more choice in the learning space and style, students will be more comfortable to actively participate as they drive into their learning. The second benefit of student-centered learning is stronger relationship between the teachers and the student. Basically, student-centered learning can create stronger relationship between students and teachers as they learn from one another. Teachers play the role of mentor and guide while still supporting and trusting the individual approaches, strategies, and learning decisions students make to suit their learning preferences. Students and teachers also develop strong communication to ensure that students are reaching learning goals. Better preparation for real-world challenges. Dear all, by empowering students to take ownership of their learning journey, they will learn based on their needs, learning style, and interest, allowing students to discover different contexts around classroom topics through their lens will help them to understand real-world challenges and apply their knowledge to problem solving. Will also bring their own personal backgrounds and knowledge to their learning, creating a more inclusive classroom that acknowledges a variety of experiences. The last benefit is deeper understanding of how students learn best, giving students choices in their learning environment, what and how they learn and how they demonstrate their knowledge will help them to understand how they learn best. When students have a strong connection and understanding of their curiosity and knowledge, they are more likely to appreciate the learning process. May include lectures, demonstrations, hand-on activities, group work, and individual projects. The last strategy is providing ongoing support and feedback. Basically, teachers play a critical role in student-centered learning as facilitators and mentors. They should be available to provide support and guidance to students as needed, and should also provide ongoing feedback to help students track their progress and identify areas of improvement. Now, I would like to move towards the conclusion. Dear all, student-centered teaching engages students in the hard, messy work of learning. It is a teaching that motivates and empowers students by giving them some control over learning processes. It also encourages students to reflect on what they are learning and how they are learning it. In the student-centered classroom, the learners have choices in their education. They are responsible for their learning. They measure their own achievements and they have power in the classroom. Students take leadership in classroom, present their work and facilitate groups. Students take ownership of their reading, writing and learning to develop tests and refine their thinking. Students engage in thought that is accountable to the text or task, the learning community and standards of the reasoning. So these are some practical implications of my talk. Basically, student-centered learning is empowering students to take leadership in the class, teaching students to take ownership of their learning. Students put efforts into developing, testing, and refining their thinking, encouraging collaboration among students to work in flexible cooperative groups, assessing students to process group work and product, inclusion of arts and vocational interest in the academic curriculum, clear documentation of teaching objectives, learning-based and not task-based thinking and work, inclusion of creative interactive exercises, culturally responsive content and delivery of instructions, use of student response systems like discussion boards and the role plays. And these were some references from which I got the help. Thanks for lending your ears. And any question, please? That's all from my side, dear all. Thank you very much.
Dear participants, do you have any questions regarding ASA's topic? Kindly post in the chat box, we will rectify it. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, sir, of course. We must be understood that there are many different types of teaching methods which can be categorized in a broader way. Thank you so much. We have a fantastic lecture about the student-centered learning, sir, and also strategies. Thank you so much. Now it's time to, thank you. Now it's time to move on the next person, Dr. Ida, Program Head of the Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education at the City College from Philippines.